welcome back to another video on the Wrestlers Debate and to another edition of AEW Dynamite Out of 10. Big show today. We're getting closer and closer to Revolution. The build's starting to build up. We've got some huge matches. Hangman Page versus John Moxley. Danielson continuing his quest for MJF by taking on Timothy Thatcher. So lots going on. Let's get straight into it. When we started off with Moxley Page, Mox and Page kicked off with some brutal brawling. The former world champion Mox was accompanied by his father, which is nice to see in his home state, and Wheeler Yuta. Before the match officially commenced, the two men held nothing back and threw vicious punches at each other in an attempt to wear each other down. Page hit his opponent with a tombstone pile driver, followed by a buckshot lariat, but Moxley managed to counter a roll-up, pinning his former rival for the win. Former Blackpool Combat Club members Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta came out to celebrate his victory, and there still looks like there's a bit of tension between them as well. Let's get an 8 out of 10 from me. Such a good way to kick off the match. They're 1-1 now, all even, but they seem like they wanted more of each other, so maybe that's a match that we're going to see at Revolution or something like that. But left the story open. I can watch these story wrestle all day. So a great start to Dynamite, of course. 8 out of 10. It's then time for the Acclaim versus Squash Triage, Truth Manigam and Turbo Floyd. They're mostly known for their appearances on Dark, but they put in an impressive show, to be fair to them. Caster was in the ring and tagged Bones into the match. He went up to the top rope and hit his signature move. This was followed by Caster hitting Magnum with an elbow drop off the ropes and pinning him for the win. Austin and Colton interrupted the celebrations and challenged them to a match for the tag team titles. Billy Gunn stepped in and addressed the situation, citing his patience as worn out with the two tag teams at each other's throats. While he made his exit from the ring, Colton shared that the father turning on his back on him was something that he did well. An irate Billy Gunn then proceeded to go into the ring and accept the match, and finally we're going to get the blow off next week. It's a Acclaim surprise, so definitely intrigued to see where that goes. 6 out of 10 from me, but I'm kind of enjoying this storyline, so looking forward to that. But it's then time for Konosuke Takeshita versus Brian Cage. Takeshita and Cage clashed in an intense match, I think it's fair to say. Cage showed immense display of strength, but his opponent used his agility to his advantage. At one point, Takeshita attempted a knee strike, which was met by a counter attack through the ropes by his opponent. Cage tried to powerbomb Takeshita, who managed to get out of it and hit him with a drop kick. During the bout, Takeshita hit Cage with a lariat and a German suplex, countering it into an unsuccessful pin. The 27-year-old continued his victorious strikes against his opponent before hitting a suplex off the tightrope, pinning him for the win. And Jake gets 7 out of 10 from me. Another really solid match from Brian Cage and a good performance from him, hence why I think he should be re-signed. But Takeshita, another great performance from him too, a big win. And was the rumour a few weeks ago, even with Don Jallis not by his side just yet, another really impressive showing, and I'm loving what he's doing at the moment. 7 out of 10 from me. It was then time for Bryan Danielson versus Timothy Thatcher, Thatcher's debut, of course, and in line with MJS series ahead of the title match at Revolution. But throughout the match, Thatcher went after Danielson's injured arm, but the AEW star fought back. But the former WWE champ hit Thatcher with a series of shots and kicks before hitting him with a drop kick off the top rope. Towards the end, MJF appeared, but was met with a series of punches by Takeshita. The duo later continued their brawl backstage, and it's made official that the two will collide next week in an eliminator match. Can't wait for that. That's just going to be bloody epic. But meanwhile, in the ring, Danielson took advantage and distracted Thatcher, hitting him with another dropkick before pinning him for the victory. This was really great. With the injuries Danielson suffered last week, it was the perfect opponent for him. Thatcher just appearing once, technical master, fitted the storyline really well, loving MJF and Takeshita as well. So on the whole, this was great. 8 out of 10. It is then time for Jade Cargill versus former friend turned rival Red Velvet, looking for a 50th win and defending her TNT championship, TBS, sorry. The challenger was hyped up and went after the champ as soon as the bell rang. However, Cargill's strength was no match for her opponents. The two women took their bout outside of the ring, where Velvet hit the champion with a vicious chop. During the match, the TBS champ lifted her opponent to showcase her strength. Towards the end, Velvet attempted to pin Cargill, which she countered into her signature move, Jaded, and pinned her to retain the title and continue her streak, which is now up to 50-0. Impressive stuff from Jade Cargill. Another impressive win. And loving what she's doing right now with the TBS title. It was always going to be a win over Red Velvet, but there we go, still good stuff. It's then time for our main event, Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe in a no-holds-barred match for the TNT Championship. Darby entered the match donning a thumbtack studded jacket in a bid to intimidate Joe, and of course this was an extremely vicious match. While Joe was getting a table out from under the ring, Allin hit him by jumping through the ropes, knocking both men out. They continued their punches and assaults on each other outside the ring. At one point, Joe sprung Allin into the steel stairs, sending him over the barricade. Jericho, but the two men didn't stop there. They continued their brawl through the crowd and back in the ring. Allen hit his opponent with a series of chops, which were countered by an irate Samoa Joe. Towards the end of the match, Allen used the coffin drop against his opponent while wearing his thumbtack jacket. The RH TV champion flung Allen with a suplex off the top rope and pinned him for the win, thus winning his second reign as TNT champion. However, his victory celebration was cut short by former rival Wardlow making his highly anticipated return, and they engaged in a brawl before security separated them. This was really good stuff. Gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Personally, I didn't see Joe winning the title here. I thought Darby would retain, so that was definitely a surprise. But there were rumours of a Joe Wardlow feud, and happy that's coming to light, because I think we definitely got more of that we need to see. But bit of a shame for Darby to drop the title so soon. But on the whole, it was a really good match, really fun match. Samoa Joe, intrigued to see what he can do. I got the feeling it may be a transitional reign, kind of what the Darby one was. But we'll have to see where it goes with Wardlow back. Gets 7 out of 10 from me. Good match, interesting result. I'm still yet to be convinced, but I'll give it time, and definitely pleased by the return of Wardlow, so 7 out of 10. On the show as well, it's important to note the Young Bucks have protected Top Flight's challenge for the AEW Trios Championship. I think we're going to get that on Rampage. That's going to be a really good Rampage match. And Ricky starts set to compete against Garcia and Guevara in the Gauntlet match next week to get to Jericho. But overall this week, forgetting all that, not forgetting all that, but overall this week, Dynamite gets a 7 out of 10 from me. On the whole, I thought it was a solid show. Some really great matches on there. Moxie Page, Danielson, Thatcher, Takeshita as well. The main event as well, interesting. And Wardlow return, very pleased by that. And setting up a whole bunch of interesting programs. So on the whole, a solid episode of Dynamite this week and gets 7 out of 10 from me. But anyway guys, that's it for you. Thanks very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, let's watch comment down and follow the show for daily wrestling news and subscribe to the channel, would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.